I just get a chat going.
Okay, folks, welcome back. Episode 11. We've made it all the way to episode 11 now, the Silly Goose Gang podcast somehow. Joining us today, we've got Craig Mcintosh, Rio Grappling and 10th Planet Brown Belt, 3 times NAGA expert gold medal winner, a long list of accomplishments. So thanks for joining on, speaking to 2 silly Scottish guys and talking jiu-jitsu, MMA and anything else that comes up, man.
No, at all, man. We're all got the same goals. We're all just trying to get better. For sure.
We're all just trying to kill time now.
Nah, you've got to still get better for sure. That's what I'm trying to do. Anytime you like something I've always neglected because I've been so much into my martial arts training. I've always neglected strength and conditioning just because I felt like I never really had the time. I've always been trying to learn Thai boxing, learn wrestling, learn submission wrestling, learn jiu-jitsu. I've always been trying to do all that. So I've never really had that much time for strength and conditioning, but you can't do any martial arts now. So I'm like, right, you know, all the stuff that I learned for martial arts, pushing yourself and trying to constantly progress and better yourself. I'm now trying to apply that to strength and conditioning while I can. So I'm just trying to work out all these ways that I could make myself as tired as possible. One of the best bits of advice I ever got was from my first Thai coach, Snowball. And basically, he says to me that you should, if you're in fight camp, you should be trying to make your lungs feel exhausted every day. You know, to the point where you're like, you know, that way where you feel like you want to die. You know, so he always told me try and make yourself feel like that once a day, and it was a great bit of advice, I think, because I have to listen to him because, to be honest, he was a really, really, really fit fighter. He was known for his cardio. He always got stronger as the fights went on. You know, 5-3s in Thai boxing, and he would always get stronger. He'd start at a slow pace, and it was his fitness that broke a lot of people. A lot of people didn't realise that actually fitness can be a weapon in itself if you can get it to, you know,
definitely can. Are you just taking this like so whether there be any grappling this year or not? Are you just taking this like a pre-camp? So you're just going to get yourself in as good a shape as you can, fitness wise, strength wise, and then once we can get back into rolling and technique.
Pretty much. I'm looking at this like a really unique opportunity because all my career, fighting professional rules, fighting Muay Thai, all the things that I've done, I've always done it when I've had a full-time job, you know, and trying to maintain a normal life. And it takes a lot of sacrifice. You miss out on everything. You miss out on events. You miss out on a lot of different things that you know that other people do. But it doesn't even feel like a sacrifice, to be honest, because I know what I'd rather be doing.
Well, that's it. If you enjoy it, it doesn't feel like it's just what you'd be doing anyway. You know what I mean? It's just what you'd be doing regardless. You know, like one of the things that pissed me off at the end with boxing was it just felt constantly the same. Just everything was the same constantly. You just get to the stage, fuck, man, I've had enough of this. Whereas jiu-jitsu, like martial arts, mixed martial arts is completely different because there's so many things to learn. Do you know what I mean? There's only so many things you can do in boxing, whereas
it never ends.
MMA or jiu-jitsu is never ending.
But boxing's like that as well. It just depends how deep you want to get in each, you know. Boxing, I think, is like that as well. Because when I really started getting into boxing for a while, I was like, I just got to the stage where it's like the more you see, the less you know. I just hit that point, you know, where I'm like, oh, there's way more to this than I originally thought there was.
There definitely is. You'll get guys who can set wee traps and stuff. And you didn't, like, if you're watching and you didn't know what you're watching.
Yeah.
Like a lot of casual fans, but if you actually know what you're watching, you'll see somebody setting little traps. Just the same as jiu-jitsu, they'll maybe like fake for someone, put their hand someplace, want you to grab it. And you know what I mean? Boxing's the same, but it was more like in terms of the training, everything was just getting the same. And you just go fed up with this and just
fakes are probably the biggest part of every martial art, I think. You know, everything's all about like trying to kind of trick the person into going one way. You know, to land the perfect shot or the perfect throw or the perfect submission, it's all like a bit of push-pull, you know, and which is like a fundamental of jiu-jitsu, but it's all about push-pull because, you know, you push something, you get the reaction you want, and then boom, you know, you hit your move.
Tyson Fury done it. He used a lot of feints against Deontay Wilder, both fights. Just jerky and you know, constantly throwing feints, and it completely throws somebody's timing off. It's actually quite interesting. Like right from the get-go, when I was speaking to John and Dan, like I was saying, there's a lot of things. Although completely different. There's a lot of things that I took from boxing and went, this is the same thing. Like, I understand what's going on here in terms of jiu-jitsu, even if you're in guards. Like, a lot of things that you could take, like distance, range, and when to like fake for something, look for this, and you're not really, things like that.
A lot of it's the same principles.
Same principles, like, definitely.
Stevie Ray doesn't get enough credit for that. See, if you watch a lot of Stevie Ray's fights and just for being in the gym with him, he's absolutely unbelievable at that. Just his mixture of feints and he'll sell everything. Like, I don't know if it's naturally or what, but he's just so good at mixing it up. Like you'll maybe get somebody individually that could be better than Stevie at a martial art, but as a mixed martial artist and in a real fight, I don't think there's anybody better than him. I think he's brilliant. He mixes up all different martial arts, wrestling, striking, feints. He's faking with the takedown coming up. Just it's cool when you see that. Danny Henry does that amazing as well. Actually, Danny Henry's just so violent, man. It's quality. The guys are awesome.
It's just so violent. That's a great way to describe somebody. Just violent.
Only in Scotland can that be a compliment.
People forget that, that it is a violent sport, and I think sometimes people kid on. And I know it's good, like, to help the sport grow and stuff, but the sport's pretty big already, I think it's grew pretty big. Obviously Conor McGregor helped that, but it is a violent sport, and I would never tell anybody that it's not. If somebody wants to start it, if somebody's dad asked me, do you think my son should do MMA? One of the first things I'll say to them is it's a brutal sport, and if you're going to do it, you need to understand that beforehand and be willing to. There could be consequences, You better get good at it quick, or there's going to be consequences.
You're going to get stuff broken. There's no way around about it. Like, you're going to lose a few brain cells and things are going to get broken. There's no way around about it.
Thai boxing's like that as well. Thai boxing, if you're going to be a Thai boxer, it's never ever going to be an easy night. I think most striking, any kind of ring sports are like that, because you've got to get in the fight. Some other sports are a lot of evading.
I've never really even watched a lot of Thai, but is that where you started, Mop? You started as a Thai fighter?
Nah, I started in a judo club, so all my ethics, everything that the way I conduct myself on the mat, stuff like that, the way that I treat my teachers with respect, treat the mat with respect, I treat my partners with respect, and some people misinterpret that, because some people would consider treating your partners with respect sometimes going easy on them and stuff like that. And I'm treating my partners by respect, because if they're at a good level and if I know they're competitive and they want to be competitive, I'll always go hard with them, because I'm trying to pay them respect by going hard with them to get them a hard training session, and a lot of the time I think people misinterpret why I go hard with people, but I think I'm trying to get the best out of somebody, I would never do that with somebody that I thought they're not capable for that. That's quite
That's one of the things that kind of annoys you is when somebody, like, if you ever went with somebody and they go instantly hard on you, especially like if you're kind of bigger, somebody goes hard on you and you go hard back with them, and then they complain, "Oh, man, you really hurt me." Come on, man, fuck's sake, what are we playing at you? I'm like you. If somebody wants to go hard, I will go as hard as you want to go, but don't complain when I go hard with you. You know what I mean? It's so annoying, that stuff.
I had a really funny story about that. I'm not going to mention names or gyms, right? But I went to a gym, and a dude that was a really high rank. He was like, he was a strong guy, and anyway, he was being a complete dick to me. He was going really, really hard, and then he was like just complaining and shit. It was just quite weird, quite aggressive guy for the start. So anyway, like got paired up with him. And he came at me like he was wanting to fight almost, it was mad. And then when I caught him in a choke, he didn't want to tap. And I was like, felt like an absolute prick. You're visiting somebody's gym, do you know what I mean? And they've kind of forced your hand, I think, in that situation. I just don't understand why people don't tap the stuff. I think it's crazy. It's one of the stupidest You know what? I'm just contradicting myself because I say it's one of the stupidest things ever, but I can be bad for it myself sometimes, and that's just you letting your ego get in the way. And I've done the same myself.
That's men and their ego. That's what that is. It's quite funny because I don't know if it's an age thing or no, Ali. Like
I know
we're both a wee bit older than you, Mott, but like obviously we're both fucking blue belts, but I've felt already like I don't know, like if somebody's got me and saying I'll just tap, it doesn't mean anything. Do you know what I mean? When you're rolling, I think maybe it's like younger guys, especially. It's a complete ego thing. But now, like if somebody's got me, and it's on. It's fucking tap, man. Why? I'm not even going to fight it. You got it, cool, tap. Let's go again. Let's figure out what I did wrong. There's more to the game than the figuring out.
Tapped. Honestly, as time goes on, you appreciate getting tapped more and more. Like for me, I'm so thankful when somebody taps me out in training. I feel great for it. I'm thinking brilliant. That's when I know I'm training hard. I'm learning. I'm growing because that's how you grow is by getting tapped out. I mean, when I first started, I got tapped out so much. I mean, I was terrible when I first started. So bad, eh? I was just get crushed every single day, every single roll. You know, I'd get tapped out like 6-7 times in a row. I sucked bad and I had no athleticism. I just had to try and get better. And I just thought, you know what? If I just keep at this, I will get better. A bit like computer games, you know, if you just keep trying it, you'll get there. And I just eventually got good enough. I really try to use that thing where you say just get better than yourself every day. Oh, I don't know if you clicked off or something here.
Is it sometimes setting those goals, isn't it? You know, if you say that, as you were saying, Mott, I got tapped 7 times the first week, 7 times the second, and then maybe 3-4 weeks down the line, you only get tapped 5 times. And you think, there's a wee bit of improvement. And then sometimes you don't tap the other person, but you make the 4-minute roll without being tapped.
Yeah.
And that by itself is the progression that you work on. And I do think me and Chris have spoke about this before, that it seems to be younger guys coming into the gym that didn't want to admit they've been caught and refuse to tap. And me and Chris have both said at times, you're like, you're going to go out to this choke if you don't tap or I don't release it, or your ankle's going to go if you don't tap to that heel hook, or your arm's going to pop if you didn't tap to one of Chris's arm bars. And you can see the young guys trying to muscle through it, and you think, you're not getting out that pal. The only way you're getting out is tap or snap.
Sometimes it's quite funny though when you see it and you think, man, these kids are crazy.
It's funny,
especially like I get people doing it to me, and I'm like, what the fuck? I always I roll quite a lot at seminars and things like that, and sometimes I think, fuck this guy. So if you're at a seminar, you're just going to let it go. You know what I mean? You're going to, you know what hurts someday.
It's one of the funniest things you get is when you get a brand new white belts, and you're just lying back playing whatever you're playing, just sort of like open guard or something, just letting them try to do something. And they'll go and grab your ankle, and you're like, what are you doing, man? And then they get something, and you go, holy shit, man, fucking hell, you get out of this. That's the best. That's the bit that gets me. That's happened a couple of times where you're just playing, you're going, you don't have there's nothing isolated here, and then they start twisting your like ankle. You're like, oh shit. You have to try and pop it yourself and get out. It's quite funny.
Aye. That's the funny thing about it, you know.
It's a great sport. So what was so from judo? Where did you go? Have you just kind of flip flop between back and forward like different martial arts? You just kind of
nah. So the very first judo club that I went into, was run by Josh Gavin. So he was also had MMA shows and. It was awesome. Really cool sort of mentality. Really cool vibe to the club. Even to this day, I've never really seen anything like it. To be honest, it was just a great mix. Just like the judo ethics with a bit of madness, because that was something Josh always said. You know, whenever somebody was a bit mad, he would go, "He's mad, eh?" And then he would give you like a wee look as if to say he can be in our gang. Do you know what I mean? Because let's be honest, you have to be a wee bit mad to get an MMA or even jiu-jitsu for that matter, because it's a combat sport and it's got
man, to compete.
Aye, for sure.
Compete's crazy, man. It's a hard thing to do.
Aye, you put yourself on the line. A lot of people don't realise that, but I always try and tell myself, I think it's those that mind don't matter and those that matter don't mind. So the way I look at that is there's only a few people that really know me properly and know exactly what my character is, and that's probably been people that I've trained with over the years. They know how hard you work in the gym. You can't kid that on. I've seen loads of guys that are maybe successful for a short period of time, but they don't work that hard, and eventually it catches them up. But I've never not been a hard worker in the gym. You have to put in the work, and I think when I'm in class, I'm not trying to have a laugh with anybody. I'm not trying to mess about. I'm there to learn what somebody that, if I'm turning up to somebody's class, it's because I respect their history in martial arts, and I want to learn what they've got. You know what I mean? I want to learn what they got, and I've had some unbelievable instructors over the years, unbelievable, that have really gave me an understanding of individual martial arts, and loads of different aspects of life, how to coach, how to improve people, the mental aspect of the game. I've learnt from loads of great teachers. It's been brilliant.
Do you bring, because I know, Mop, you work in kind of a similar role to me, a trainer in the sort of financial services world. Do you get a lot of crossover between your coaching and your job and what you carry over into the martial arts at all? Do you think there's a crossover there?
I do. So when I stopped fighting professional MMA, I decided to focus on my job for a bit, because I was doing like same old job in a call centre for a while, and nothing wrong if that's what people want to do. I was good at it and I could do it quite easy. You know what I mean? I could do the job quite easy. You're earning a wage, and I could concentrate on my MMA because I was just an autopilot doing the job. It didn't require much of my mental capacity. So yeah, from there on, I just kind of moved into that.
Yeah, that's good that it crossed over. You can probably transfer a lot of the skills from your trainer role into your martial arts coaching, I would imagine.
Aye, I would say so. I think that's been about 2 years or something I started doing that, and really took quite a lot from it. You know, they put you in different courses, invest a lot of time, and you've got to think as well. Like one of the companies I work for, it's one of the top companies in its sector. So they've ran successful business for a while. They've invested a lot of time into their training programs. So not even just that, but you just take so much from it. You take so much in the methodologies, and you take so much with even things to do with like culture building within the team.
Yeah, absolutely.
So obviously successful companies, they have to have successful cultures within their whole structure. And if they don't have that kind of structure, that successful structure culture, it'll just the company will fall apart and it will never thrive. But the same thing you can apply to an MMA team. If you can build a great culture, then from there it'll all grow and grow and grow and be successful in itself. And that could apply to your affiliates, people that you teach. It could apply to a number of things, but it does. It builds a successful culture, and I've learned that. You see the most successful teams in sports and MMA. It's always based on they've always got a good culture within their team.
I've been in like boxing gyms before where there's been wee cliques. Like it never works. Like this, there's like this gang and this gang, and
it's not a nice place to be. Yeah.
Nah, there's like a wee atmosphere, and you think, I don't know if I really want to train here. But you go to like Goliath, they didn't really have any like high level, even amateurs yet. But the atmosphere in the place is cool. Everybody wants to help everybody, and it's a really good atmosphere. So that's quite cool to see that. But the boxing was quite bad for that. You go to gyms and it was kind of this side and that. It was like going to a school disco and you had one side, another, and nobody talked to anybody. It's a weird kind of setup.
I think that's honestly that's a really cool thing about higher level as well. When you go there, I'm a fan of some of these guys. Do you know what I mean? I love martial arts, so a lot of these guys I'm a fan of. Even though I trained alongside them, I've done groups with them for years, sparring with them and stuff. But I've always been a fan of these guys, watching them. I think because I appreciate folks that are good at martial arts. Do you know what I mean? Some of the guys that I've got to train with at higher level over the years are just unbelievable martial artists and got some really unique qualities as humans and abilities. Like there's some guys that people don't even know that are just were frightening martial artists. Jamie Nolan springs to mind. He was excellent. He came through and trained with us for years. Just solid wrestling, great boxing, and a really kind person as well. Like he was one of these kind of guys that if he's sparring with you, a couple of times he could have probably gave you a flash or put your lights out, and he would always pause and give you like as if to say, I could have caught you there.
Could have had you there.
You know what I mean? So you get guys like that. A lot that's a completely different side to a lot of these fighters that people will never get to see. is like what a good person like Stevie Ray maybe crack you with a left hand, and you're like, oh, that was a good left hand. But Stevie's never the type of guy that in the gym that would ever, try and follow up on it or anything like that. He looks after his training partners, and his training partners try and look after him by pushing him, and that's. But you don't get that culture everywhere, and especially with guys at such a high level. Sometimes egos and stuff get involved, but there's no egos at a higher level, which you would get sorted out real quick.
That's one of the things, like what you're saying with higher level, is like it's higher level is kind of like it's like the Scottish version of whatever you want to call it, Faris Sahavi's gym or Jackson Wink's gym. It's like the Scottish version of that, where you go in, like when you go in there, you see these faces, you're like, that's him, and that's that guy, that's him, but they're all cool, they're all super, like really. I've only been in, I think, once, but everybody was like, can everybody walk in? How you did? You all right? And they never
when
seen
Dan
you.
was teaching, yeah.
That's when Dan was seminar, right? And you go in, and the guys I kind of know who they are because I've seen them on Instagram. Like, just guys like, is it like Coonley? Is it Coonley?
Aye, man.
He never met the guy in my life, and I walked in. He's like, "How's it going, man?" And I'm like, "How's it going?"
I started teaching Coonley when he was 14 years old.
He was just one of the faces that I've seen, and he was just nice. He just walked in, never seen me, doesn't know who I am. He just was a pleasant man.
He's the nicest wee boy. He came to my gym when we had it in Alloa, SMTC it was at the time, and I was teaching out there. It was Snowball's gym, and we were constantly training. We were doing a wee thing where I was teaching jiu-jitsu, he was teaching Thai boxing. There was boxing classes and stuff, but I had quite a good thing going on. There was a lot of bodies. I was really trying to get into Thai at the time. I was really getting. I mean, I got quite obsessed with it for a bit. I really enjoyed Thai boxing. Just thought this is absolutely brilliant. But Coonley came in as a 14-year-old boy, and he's just the nicest wee boy ever, man. And he didn't even have that much natural talent at first, but he had a lot of work ethic. And then it was funny, once his personality started coming out, then he really started to show his talent, because it was like he was just being smooth. He started boxing, letting himself go, being loose, and his boxing and striking was always really smooth. And now he's just built himself up to. He's honestly, like, I wouldn't be fancying doing rounds with him now. I'll tell you that. That's honestly, it's like 19 or something. Maybe he's a wee bit older than that. But I'll tell you what, I wouldn't fancy doing rounds with him these days, man. I've done some grappling rounds with him, but MMA, I don't know.
This is why you've got to be thankful. There's masters divisions in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, exactly.
all these young guys, you can go, nah, man, I'll win masters.
The old boys.
When you look at that, you're like, oofed, It's crazy.
It's good that young guys are getting involved. I was going to say, young guys athletic, that maybe
like Sean Clancy. You seen Sean Clancy fight?
I haven't, no.
Nah, kid's 3-0. His dad's big into martial arts. He fought as well, and his sons are tough as fuck. It's quality. He's actually just got them right into martial arts for a young age, and invested a lot of time into them. It's really cool. But Sean's like 17. He's 3-0 in MMA. He's incredibly talented and solid grappler. Game as they come as well. Like, I was in higher level one day. I can't remember why I was in. I was just popping into grapple with people that were there, and I think it was before I was on a run of 3 comps in a row. It was awesome. Before Stevie done Polaris as well, but we were in the cage, and Sean was like, I'll do rounds with you, man. And we're just doing rounds, round after round after round, you know what I mean? And he was not getting discouraged at all. He's just keeping at it. And I'm like, oh, that's a great attitude. And he was fit as a fiddle as well. So I was like, even then, I was like, oh, he's awesome. He's going to be really good, because he's no bother about defeat. He's just want to learn.
It's the hope when you see some of these young guys, and we've all seen young guys who come into the gym and they'll be talented and they'll be there, and then just disappear, and you just wish you could keep them. Sounds like he is, but just explain to them, man, you just keep doing this. You fucking could do something. You could really go someplace.
Yeah,
it's just keeping these guys interested.
I saw so much of that, to be honest. You see so much of that, and I don't know why. I've seen so many talented people actually. I've seen so many talented people actually just stop altogether, and you think, why would you do that? You've got so much talent at that. And Do you know what? See if somebody does that for the right reasons, it's fine. But see if it's like to go get drunk or go take drugs and go just waste yourself. It's a fucking bad move, and they'll regret it for the rest of their life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. This is where I think. Sorry, Ali. When you go.
I was just going to say, do you think it's the when the talent kind of levels out and they have to then, like you were saying, Mop, start to work hard with the talent, that some people start to drop off because they can't rely on their natural talents. They're not as willing to work hard. I was saying, do you think you were saying about like working hard is a massive part of the whole game, and maybe because they've been so talented, they haven't had to work hard, and they get to the level where they have to match their talent with hard work, that people maybe aren't as willing to do that sometimes.
I think it could be that. It's hard to tell, to be honest. It's hard to tell because I think it's like everybody's got these ideas in their head of things that they want to do, and for people they tend to leave the sport quite young sometimes, or just because maybe they want to go party or whatever, because all their friends are doing that and they can't just do their own thing for a period of time. So I think that's maybe why they do it. It's just like it's because they're drawn to all this stuff that they think is going to be great, but really, you could actually still do that shit sober. I didn't really miss out on much. I was out all the time. I was clubbing, but I've been sober for 12 years or something like that now. 12 years and what we in May. It's 12 years, 12 and a half years exactly, pretty much. So I've never had a drink of alcohol in 12 and a half years.
I think this is where, like I say, guys like that, I think this is at like at a higher level at your own place. Like say, guys like you and guys like Stevie, Danny Henry, and that have got like quite a big part to play to be able to say to the guys, because they're like use kind of like the bigger names, to say to these young guys, listen, like you could do a lot of things here. There's nothing really. You can go party, but you get fed up with it. Whereas you could actually go and do things and go and have some life experiences, have fun, maybe make some money, win some belts and things like that. It's cool. So I think it's cool to have guys like you and Stevie, Danny, and then like say Callum, Murray, and those kind of guys that could probably say to the younger boys, listen, dickhead, did he do that and do this?
You're 100% right, I think, because and just, I mean, that's what I feel I do as a coach. That's what I feel I try and do as a coach. I try and help all my guys out, that try and help them make even mistakes that I'm reflecting on my career and saying, I should have done more of that, or you know what, I should have done more, because I try, all you're doing as an MMA fighter is you're really trying to work out what you think the best strategies are in your head and trying to build yourself upon that. But there's things I would have went back, and if I could have went back in time and I said, nah, I need to find the time to do that, but sometimes somebody's told you and you've just chose to ignore it as well. Well, a lot of these things, you've got to pay attention to the shit along the way.
Young folk didn't want to listen, do they? That's the problem with being young. The young folk didn't want to listen. We've all done it. Excuse me.
Yeah, we definitely have. We definitely have all been there, haven't we? You get good advice at the time and you don't realise it till 5 years down the line, and then you're like, I should have listened 5 years ago. Should have been doing this for the last 5 years.
There is definitely things like that you notice the difference.
So what's your plans moving forward, Mop? Have you got no plans to ever do any MMA again?
I don't know. It's been a while, so I'm probably as well saying no, because I just get pissed right off myself for it. I really still feel like I've got it in me to do it, and I miss it and enjoy it. But this is kind of going back to what we were talking about. This is exactly why I'm training really so hard to now, because the way I'm looking at it is I've always been so busy with work and coaching that I've not really had the time to get in fight shape. But I should be able to get myself pretty close to it, because I've got some time now. I'm on furlough for work, so it's been awesome.
It'd be cool to see you do some MMA again. But this again, when was the last time you had an MMA fight? What was it? 3 years?
4 years. 4 years ago.
4 years ago. I keep saying, when people ask me about boxing, it's like, maybe you got 6 years. If I was going to do it, I would have done it by now. I'm probably just in my head, didn't really want to say no, but chances of it happening, it's weight. It's not easy, but it's easier to go and do a jiu-jitsu competition and get fucking kicked in the head or get punched in the head or something like that. It's easier to go and do jiu-jitsu.
It's a different kind of preparation, 100%. You can't bank that you're going to be able to do fight after fight after fight but you can bank that you can pretty much do comp after comp after comp.
Yeah.
If you play the rules right in jiu-jitsu, you're either going to get submitted or you're going to submit the person or win. So you shouldn't really get hurt because it should all stop before the point of injury. But you can't go into a kickboxing bout, a boxing bout, and guarantee that you're not going to walk out injured. In fact, you're probably as well guaranteeing yourself that you are going to walk out injured because, that's how most fights go down. And if you're not prepared for that, then you shouldn't be in the fight, really.
Definitely. Have you got any plans for organising any jiu-jitsu shows or doing any MMA shows through your way? Have you ever thought about having some big matches on?
I had an MMA show that was getting put together. It was meant to be on this month. Actually,
that's right. Aye, that's right. Aye, I remember seeing that. Aye.
So obviously that's can't happen. It's shit. So it's really looking forward to that. But that's fine. I've got more time to plan it. As soon as everything's back up and running, I'll get a chance to do that.
It'd be cool. To get some. I don't know. You'll know better than me. It'd be cool to see something like the high level guys in Scotland compete because I've never seen many high level guys in Scotland competing against each other. And I've never seen I'm trying to think now in terms of brown belts. It'd be cool to see it'd be cool to see Dan Clark versus name a black belt, a good black belt. It'd be good to see Dan against Dan or Dan against you or you wouldn't fight Stevie Ray, but the bigger names in Scottish jiu-jitsu. It'd be cool to see something get some super fights made up and watch them.
I think the thing is most of us have probably competed against each other at some time in the past. You know what I mean?
No, just at lower belts.
It's just that maybe just at lower belts. Maybe people haven't seen it. Maybe in MMA stuff like that as well. So just because most of the top guys have been about for a while and they'll have at least rolled with each other or whatever.
That's just fan stuff. That's just me being a fan going. It'd be cool to see all the good guys in Scotland compete against each other.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I just love competing against everybody. I think I've competed against most people. I love it. I love competing. It's fun. I'm genuinely pretty impartial about. Obviously, I want to win, but I just like to find out if I'm better than people or not. That's it. Just if my work's been good enough. Because what sucks is what's the worst is if somebody's been training less time than you and they're better than you and you're like, shit, I've obviously done something wrong. You know what I mean? And you're like,
definitely.
I just like to keep testing and learning. I think exposes a lot of styles in competition, so you're exposing yourself to all these different styles, and then you're learning how to deal with these styles as well, and you're seeing it in actual practicality where you're going against each other, trying to go for each other, trying to fake kill the other person.
Simulated murder.
Yeah.
Simulated murder, aye. Dear.
So where did your connection to 10th Planet come from, Mop? Where did that end up?
So where did I start? I was saying about training judo with Josh Gavin, Hostile Territory. It was awesome. Later on, unfortunately, Josh passed away. It was it was a really it was a really bad time, for that, because he was just such a great person, and it was just some things in life are just completely unfair, and that's it's one of the things where you think to yourself, that's just terrible, especially with a family and stuff like that. So I had started training Muay Thai with Brian Stevenson. I got quite close with his coach, John Craig. He was somebody I still consider a good friend. And we would travel to Thailand and stuff, train Thai boxing out there. Train Thai boxing there. I had a Thai fight. It was fun. I had just one and done. But I loved it. I got proper obsessed. I was even able to do one of the wee Thai dances. That's how obsessed I was. Sorry
to interrupt you, Mum. This is what I'm saying. Like, to some of the young guys, if you say to the young guys, just to go to Thailand and train and have a fight, that's cool as fuck.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, that's cool to be able to say you've done that. I went there and trained. That's pretty cool.
I just did. Do you know what? I just thought. I knew for the start I wanted to be a real mixed martial artist, not one of these fucking guys that just know one thing or two. I just think that's no mixed martial arts. Learn everything. That's the way I look at it, and I'll never dismiss a martial art. You could come up to me some. Don't get me wrong, maybe some of that fucking. But that shit.
McDojo life stuff.
McDojo what's the self-defense one that's kicking about the now? It's like there's a funny one anyway, man. But it's all our YouTube, and people are like making fun of it and that on video. But anyway, maybe none of that shit. But like, I embrace all techniques, and I think that being a fan of Anderson Silva, I think that was a big part of it. He was showing you new stuff works. You know, like there was when I first got into MMA, there was like just get really, really fucking jacked. It seemed like people wanted to get jacked up on steroids. They wanted to do hundreds of. I think that's why I went away for the strength and conditioning stuff, because I related it to steroids, just because it was so many fucking roided up guys. Just like all the UFC countdown shows were like Sean Sherk fucking flinging tires about, just constantly, just fucking muscles on muscles on muscles. And I used to think, who's these cunts kidding? They must be mentally weak when they're fucking taking this shit and they're out there fucking flexing muscles all day. Like, that's no fighting. That's weightlifting, man. If you want to get into fucking weightlifting, that's how I looked at it. But so I just got obsessed with martial arts. I felt like I've only got so much time, and I love martial arts way more than I love that shit. But so I got pretty obsessed with it for a bit.
So it's quite funny because a lot of people look at guys who are big and jacked and six pack and massive arms and massive shoulder. I look at those guys and go, he's probably going to tire out quite quick. You know, you look at Anthony Joshua when Anthony Joshua was like 18.5 stone and like a Greek god, and then Andy Reeves comes along and knocks him out. Like, fuck hell, man. It
does sometimes. Do you know what? Most of the time it doesn't mean anything. I'd say like 90% of the time that I've ever rolled with or trained with big muscly guys, I've went, oh, they're not very strong, you know, and I didn't feel it. And then there is that 10% though where you get just freakishly strong people, and you're like, holy shit, they are so strong. Yeah, and then you're like, that's real crazy strength. So it's just funny because there's levels to strength, I suppose. Weightlifting strength is totally different to grappling strength.
Definitely. I think there's there must be some like mad genetics going on with some people, because there is it's like people I've rolled with, they're like small, and you're like, what the fuck's going on here? Like, I'm normally strong in jiu-jitsu, like maybe no, like obviously couldn't be squatting off a lot and stuff like that, but it's like when they get up to your collars or they go for underhooks, you go, oh, that's different. It feels weird.
One of my first, we're kind of getting onto jiu-jitsu and shit anyway, so this makes sense. So during the time I trained with Josh, I started also traveling to learn Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Like I learned, I basically, so what, 2000 and I think it was about 2010, 2000. Yeah, I mean about 2010. I was going to start. I had a fight or something coming up, and I wanted to get better at Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I think, to be honest, I had been just looking at like the different martial arts. I started studying the UFC, looking into the main martial arts who are the champions. It's quite basic. You can do it with any kind of sport, but you just look at the best guys in the world at it. What are they doing? All right, that's what they're doing. I'm going to do that too. And then then you're playing catch up to there. It just depends how good you can get at it and how creative you can get along the way. But I pretty much just looked at who all the top guys were, what they were doing, and said, right, okay, I need to get good at these. Where teaches these? So, you know, I was learning some ground skills for judo, and I learned a lot of really, really good stuff that gives me a bit of an edge on a lot of guys, I think. You know, my base is judo, I would say, always. My base is judo. The way that the judo methods for holding people and crushing them and then making them give you submissions, that's my style of grappling, you know. And if a submission's there, I'll go for it. But if not, I'm going to crush a person until they want to give me the submission. That's what I'm always going to try and do to people. That's how I like to grapple. But I lost track there.
That's absolutely the time, man.
We just think what you were saying there though about the judo and the crushing, you'll be making John Humphreys, our coach, very, very happy as he listens to this, because that's pretty much how he teaches. Do you know what I mean? Old school judo.
Yeah,
old school judo.
It's a great, honestly, the judo guys got a lot of stuff right, because it was technically kind of stolen for judo anyway when you think about it, because it went, you know, judo right through to Brazil. The Brazilians, you know, learnt it, kind of rebranded it to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and then from there, it was, you know, it's took all different forms. You know, it's crazy. But that's the thing. That's why I don't get too attached to BJJ or anything. I just consider myself a grappler. You know, I didn't get too attached to these things. I'll learn any grappling discipline. I'll learn. You know, because it's all just grappling, and I'm not into this like us against you shit either. I don't think that helps anybody in grappling. Like, so I'm not going to say like a guy's for Marcos Nardini's team. I'm not going to roll with that guy. I'll go roll with that guy. I'll be friends with that guy if I like him. That's it. I'm going to train with somebody if I like them. I do look at it as teams or anything like that. I understand there is certain things like for me it's if it gets personal. If somebody was to insult you know, a coach or a teammate, then I'm going to say, right, no matter if you're a good guy or not, you're nothing to do with me. You've insulted my team. You know what I mean? But if people are cool, then I would roll with anybody. You know what I mean? I'll go train with anybody and learn for anybody. And you know, I want to learn as much as I can. I want to test myself as much as I can. Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned Marcos Nardini, because I think there's apparently there's a huge big guy through there, a massive guy, and everybody keeps saying to me, "You fucking need to go and roll with him, man. You need to go roll with him." And I'm like,
"Hi." I think I rolled with that dude.
You can't get over him. Apparently he's enormous. Like he's like
he's fucking good.
like you know, like 130 kilos or something. Apparently he's like 130, and everybody's saying to me, "Fuck man, you need to go and roll with him." And I'm like, maybe.
If I see him thinking he was a good dude.
I'm like you, Mop. Like I've always been the same when it was boxing, sparring, or jiu-jitsu. Like as long as people are cool, fuck man, I'll but sometimes I think when like, I don't know if you find this, but see when you're like super cool with people, I think sometimes see it as like a weakness where you're just being really friendly to people, and sometimes maybe just step the mark slightly. Can they try and like maybe take the piss slightly because you're being like if you're sometimes see like being really nice as being like a bit weak. But I found that sort of time. Sometimes people are maybe just try and take the piss slightly because you're being nice.
Jiu-jitsu etiquette's quite funny, isn't it? When you think about it, just in general, it's just the whole etiquette's a bit funny to me. I think. I don't know. Sometimes it just depends. Yeah, that's why you've got to find the right culture, the right people, the right place that you want to roll. Sometimes it's not even about the instruction; it's just about getting the culture right for how you are as a person. And I think that's what. It's one of the main things that differentiate a lot of the clubs. Like 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu is not that much difference to any other normal Jiu-Jitsu. They're still training all Jiu-Jitsu, really. It's just that it's branded 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu. That they've got some paths that are unique and stuff like that. But it's not like they're saying, right, I'm only going to learn rubber guard. I'm only going to learn the truck. I'm only going to learn these systems. They're learning all Jiu-Jitsu and they're doing what everybody else is doing. They're concentrating on what's the most successful shit out there. If you look at back to that, you look at the ADCC, what are the moves that are getting hit? They're going to put focus on that, just like any other smart club would be doing.
John, I know John looks at that. John watches what are like the high percentage submissions. Like at every big comp, he'll watch and see what's getting hit and what seems to be popular and try and follow what everybody else is going to like, trying to anticipate what everybody else is going to be trying to learn.
Yeah, one thing's for sure in Jiu-Jitsu, you don't want to get left behind. A lot of people get left behind. If you ever stop getting curious and fall out of love with it, then you'll get left behind and really I think they should have a totally different belt system where you can go up belts, but you can also go down belts.
Come down belts,
do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
I am right now, I'm a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu because, you know what I mean? A lot of people after this lockdown won't be feeling like black belts, or a lot of people might be feeling like... blue belts might be feeling like white belts after this because you've took that much time back. It's like quicksand.
The only thing that'll save that is hopefully everyone's going to be like that. So it's, do you know what I mean? Everyone will be back to being pissed.
I think like the lowest you can get is go back to like blue belt level. Do you know what I mean? If you ever got that good, then you just stopped altogether. You'd still have a bunch of tricks. I think. Do you know what I mean? You'd have some. You'd maybe have one good round and you feel like you got to black belt and you stopped for a year. You would still at least have, even if you'd done no training for a year and you came back, you're still going to be pretty good.
It'll never leave you completely. You still understand like how you move.
It's like old boxers. Do you know what I mean? You look at you ever met an old boxer in the pub? It's like I used to box, son. And then the next thing you know, he's flashing jabs at you, and you're like, oh,
shadowbox in the gym. You're like, holy shit, this old guy's so handy.
I've seen it on the pubs over the years, because if you think about it, 12 years sober, I can remember all my experiences in the pub. I remember all my conversations with the drunk guys and that, and I just chat to them and I just be curious, you know. So if they tell me they used to be a boxer, I say, all right, what was your favourite puncher, son? Just start asking them questions, you know what I mean? And the next thing you know, you get a funny story out of it. They're like, oh, I fucking had the jab. I used to hit folk with the jab every day. It's just how you wind folk up and get good stories.
I mean, one of the funny, you'll probably remember, you'll probably be able to remember these things, but when you speak to people, especially if you're sober, it's catching out bullshitters in pubs. Especially when I remember when MMA became popular, we were out. I think Dan would have been there, and it was Paul Laurie was out, and there was a guy. Some guy was talking to him, and this guy, his exact words were, I'm doing the UFC now." We're like, "What the fuck are you talking about? You're doing the UFC?" And he's like, "Where'd you train?" And I can't remember where he said he trained, but he trained where Dan and Laurie were training at the time. I'm like, "Oh, we trained there. We've never seen you." And the boy kind of just went bright red and kind of just try to blag it, kind of night out, try to say he's a fighter. And, there's a load of guys like that. A lot of boys. Everybody, see the amount of people that like the idea of being a fighter without actually ever. Kind of boys that have been to the gym twice and then like, "Oh man, I do the MMA like."
I had a guy tell me that he trained in the same place that I was training. When I was training in that Thai boxing gym, he actually he was in the pub telling me that he trained at the same gym as me he didn't know that I trained there. He was just saying, "Oh, he just started blathering at me. I've started doing the Thai boxing." I said, "All right." And he goes there. I said, "Oh, where are you doing that?" The guy's name's Deke McDade. If anybody's listening to this that knows me, he deserves to be slaughtered for this. Sitting steaming. And he's going, aye, I've been doing the Thai boxing, doing with Snowball. And I was like, all right, aye. And he said, aye, doing the Thai boxing. And I'm like, all right, that's good, man. Aye, where are you doing that about? I said, I'm into a bit of that. And he's like, aye. So he's telling me, he actually got the class times and days wrong, but he was he at least knew that there was a class and where it was, but he certainly had never been, because I'd never missed a class.
Plenty boys like that, man. I love when you talk to the bullshitters when they get caught out. It's hilarious.
Oh, it's embarrassing, man. It's embarrassing. But you see it. But aye, so I think what was I saying? I was saying I was travelling through to Scott McVeigh's. That's where I went to. So I started getting curious about different martial arts. Started training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu through there. So I used to travel by myself most of the time through to Scott's, where he had a place there was a place in Balfron, which is Isle Fitness. Kerr McMillan. He's actually a Hickson Gracie black belt. So it's Kerr or Hoist Gracie black belt now under Hickson, and same with Scott McVeigh. Two really good guys. Both of them were great coaches and great training partners. I used to travel through and train with them regularly. And the Gi was when I started, so that was about 2010. And now we would just train, and it was brilliant. It was really old school Gracie fundamentals. I really enjoyed it, teaching you the proper. One thing about the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu stuff is they really go into the fine details of stuff, and that's what I think is brilliant. Just like the mechanics of a choke, and like something Hoyce always talked about is just how you want to keep like no space. You know what I mean? Like no space at all. If you're going for a triangle, you're wanting to close off all the space of everything. But some people, they put on these sloppy triangles and they start squeezing. They're not realising you need to be minimising that space, and that's what makes a choke tighter. And Hoyce spoke about really fine fundamental details that you never forget like that. And I got to learn Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu from them up to blue belt. It was brilliant. I really enjoyed it. Round about that time, I started focusing on more my MMA career. I wanted to get better. I think this would have been about 2012, 2013. I'd suffered a loss to Paul McBain when I'd fought him, and it was the first loss I'd had in a good few years since I'd pretty much started. And I remember being like really trying to get better to try and get a rematch at some point. And anyway, I ended up training. I was training really, really hard, and started travelling through there to get better. But I thought, right, I really need to add some extra elements to my game. I could see in my own game. A good question to always ask yourself is if you were going to fight you, how would you beat you? So
definitely, yeah, that's definitely a good question.
As an MMA fighter, I would always ask myself that, and I would try and be as truthful with myself as possible. If I was going to beat you, how would I beat you? And then I would think, right, well, you need to start filling that hole before somebody else recognises that. because if somebody else sees those holes, then they can capitalise on them. So I started trying to fill those holes in, and the right place for me to fill those holes in was through James Doolan. James had commented. I was talking about going pro on the forum, and James was nice enough to say, listen, if you're going pro and you want to get sparring, then you're welcome through here. And I thought to myself, that's an opportunity that I shouldn't really be passing up on. And I started travelling through there with my brother and stuff. We started training through there regularly and just really trying to fill in the holes. And I feel like I've done a great job of that. I feel like those guys rounded up my game much, much better. All the stuff that I never knew, I learned there, which was a big chunk of my MMA game. And that was around 2013, I think I went there, 2013. So, and I think 3-4 years I was in the gym pretty much every day, training, learning, certainly at most 5-6 days a week anyway. And I learned so much in that gym, learned so much from my teammates that were training with there, and learned so much from the coaches. And still to this day, if there's anything I'm ever stuck with or a position I'm struggling with, concepts, anything, coaching advice. James has been brilliant with that a lot lately since I've started coaching again. I ask him a lot of questions. I go to James a lot if I've got questions on, maybe a thought process for coaching and stuff. So, just a few conversations here and there have been really good, and I'm still learning for him yet, just in a slightly different way.
That was one of the things I was going to ask you. Then you can answer it yourself. Is like, see by training, like going to all these different gyms, have you picked up just tiny little things for this guy, and then can implement it into your own coaching, like things that you knew what. So one of the things is like, especially in a gym, I think you kind of obviously who you coach. There's different personalities in the gym. Like everybody's like, people are different. So have you picked up things like how to manage people for different gyms?
There's different systems, and there's different systems in place, and all you can really do, especially as a coach, is try and guide the culture that you think is correct in martial arts, because there's a lot of ways to do things. So when you start mixing the etiquette of all the different martial arts, there isn't the way that the Thai's etiquette is totally different to the way that the jiu-jitsu etiquette is, and it's totally different to the judo etiquette, and it's totally different to boxing etiquette. All the etiquettes are different, so you've just got to take the parts that you think are the best etiquette out of that. So if you were to say, right, boxing, what's great about boxing, you can look at the different things. If you look at Thai boxing, right, maybe you think, right, the ritual dancing is not so good, well, we take that out. Right, okay then, but we should still keep the fact that they train like absolute demons. That's one thing. You'll never see an unfit Thai boxer. They're always absolutely fit as a fiddle, or you'll rarely see an unfit Thai boxer. So just taking the best of each martial art, taking the what you think is going to help young martial artists that are trying to perform in mixed martial arts, trying to compete in mixed martial arts. So that's what I try to do anyway. I take all the stuff that I've found for martial arts that I love, and I'm trying to build that within my culture and my team.
Cool. What's have you got some guys like now that you're hopeful that you could take pro? Or?
I don't think anybody's got the experience yet to get pro, but honestly, the guys that are giving me their time, I can get them wherever they want to be. But I truly believe that in my heart of hearts. It's pretty much been the purpose of my adult life is to get to the position where I can do that. Something that I'm massively passionate about is the fact that martial arts really saved my life, to be honest. And if I can do that for anybody else, then it's worth everything. It's worth every fight I've ever had. It's worth all the travelling that I've done to learn the techniques that are in my head. It's worth all the hours and hours and hours and hours of hard work and giving up on stuff, and all of that's worth it if you can help save somebody's life, change the direction of their life, and do you know what's even better about it is that with coaching, you've actually got the opportunity to do that to not just one person but loads of people. Anybody that you can help, you can try and get them where they want to be. And
so here's the question then, since you're talking about that, is do you get as much pleasure in watching one of your own guys winning a competition
easily more, to be honest, easily more, and that's what worries me about fighting. That's the only thing that puts me off fighting, is because I think, why are you getting more pleasure at coaching than what you do when you win? Like, I didn't get that much. Maybe I would now, because it's been so long since I won an MMA, but winning always came fairly easy to me. And I think to myself, I mean, I worked really, really hard, so the wins came easy, if that makes sense. You know, I worked hard in the gym, so the wins came easy a lot of the time. But because it did, I thought to myself, right, maybe that's why I didn't value it. Don't get me wrong, there's some moments for fighting that nothing could top. Do you know what I mean? There's when I won my 4-man tournaments, I won 2 4-man tournaments, and they were a real buzz. I loved them. I felt like the experience was absolutely incredible, getting to fight twice in one night, and it's just a good feel to it, you know. But I think it helps.
Are you still allowed to do that now? And now, are you still allowed to do that in MMA? Fight twice in one night?
I mean, if we're talking like facts, MMA is still not a real sport in the UK. You know, it needs change, and something needs fixed to it. To be honest, something needs fixed.
Because that sounds. I know in boxing now you're not allowed to do. You used to be able to fight twice a day. I didn't even think you're allowed to fight twice in one weekend now in boxing. Like at Scottish Championships, it might have changed. I don't think now. There was a guy.
I get it. You know, the people are just trying to make the sport safe, and I get it. I think it's tough. You know, it's tough to decide, because it's like a lot of what makes the sport of MMA great is madness. The mix of martial arts, but also the fact that sometimes a better martial artist doesn't win. You know, I definitely feel like I've been a better martial artist than some people that have beat me. It's just that they've been the better fighter on the day. You know, and that's fair. You know, so it just shows you've got to have your mind on track. You've got to have fighting. You know, being better and fitter than somebody by the time you go into the in the cage in MMA, it doesn't guarantee you victory. You know, you need to be switched on the day, and you need to make sure that your sole focus is on putting that person away, and hurting that person and winning the coin. I think people see it differently. I've always fought better when I see it as putting the person away, but some people see it as just winning the contest. And I think winning the contest is probably a smarter way to go. You know, but I've just always seen it as trying to put the person away, because I've just looked at it like that was my job.
Yeah, totally.
Hurting people.
You know, their job's to do that to you. It's a fair exchange. There's nothing more honest than a fight, that's for sure. There's nothing ever more honest than a fight.
Well, you say
especially an organised one.
you can't hide in a ring or a cage. There's nowhere to hide. If you've not done the work, you'll get fucking found out. That's for certain.
Yeah,
even jiu-jitsu is the same thing. Like if you've not done the work, you'll get caught out. So, what? How are you doing for? Fucking hell! What time is it? Just looking at my time now. Is that? About 15 minutes.
That's done an hour.
You guys good to keep chatting, or you done?
Aye.
Happy.
We're good to go on. It looks like you're losing light though. You now look like Ken the video for Queen's video when it's just the blackness in your key folks' heads. That's what you look like.
2 seconds.
Me and Rob today, that was it.
There you go. There we go.
There we are.
Let there be light.
Indeed.
That's kind of what we're talking about there.
So I think I got fully up to being at higher level and training there over the years and stuff like that. But something else, the original question that you asked me was when did you get to 10th Planet? And I kind of jumped back when I did get to 10th Planet. So I got to 10th Planet the same time I kind of went to higher level. I think it was just about 6 months before I made my first trip to California. Before I went to higher level, I went out to California to train it with Callum. So Callum had been training out there for quite a while. He had trained out there with a guy called Sean Bollinger, and he had with Sean Bollinger, and he had a lot of people as well over for seminars as well. So Sean had been over and stayed at his house and stuff like that. So I'd met them then, and he just kept talking about this guy Sean Bollinger. He's like, man, this guy Sean Bollinger's fucking crazy jiu-jitsu, and I'm like, fucking. I was just kind of on my own wee path at the time, but I'm like, if Callum tells me something, I'm going to listen to it. In the same way we've been training together since we pretty much started. So if he tells me something's good, I'm going to get a try, and I'm going to at least look into it. And I think he's been the same with me, and it's pretty much how I learned the necktie as well. It was him that put me onto that, and I'm like, right, okay. And he said, no, I'm telling you, it's really good. And I was like, all right, then. But it was him that told me about the dash as well. And I go, no, sorry. It was actually Josh that gave me the dash. And he had some different dash setups. So I think we kind of both both kind of encouraged each other with that stuff. But he got me into the necktie, and it took me, about 6 years to, maybe about a year before I started getting good with it, and then it just grew and grew and grew.
This is why it's super important. We've said this quite a few times in different episodes here, but it's so important to have the right people. It doesn't matter what you're doing, like life, playing football, rugby, whatever, to have the right people around about you that kind of push you, and you push them, and they inspire you, and you want to make each other better. I'm sure with Callum, you're like the same as anybody else. You're going, I want to beat him, but I want him to get better at the same time. Do you know what I mean? You have a nice friendly competition going in there.
We all spur each other on. Do you know what I mean? And we'll have
so
we'll have jokes with each other. My wee brother as well. Like we used to drive through in the car with me, Stevie, Callum, Coonley, and Jordan Struthers as well. We were the first 5 that used to go through all the time. So.
So important to have those people, man.
When I went to higher level, I was actually already coaching. So when I made the decision to stop coaching and go to higher level, which was like 2013, so I was pretty much the best MMA fighter in the area. So I had to, for the Alloa area, I was pretty much the only guy at the time that had been fighting MMA. But it was way. If I'm being truthful with myself, it was too early for me to be coaching. And that's me being. If I'm being honest with myself, it was too early for me to be coaching. I was a good amateur at the time, and that's not good enough to be a coach.
What belt were you? What belt were you in jiu-jitsu when you started coaching?
So I was a blue belt when I started coaching.
You were a blue belt, right? Okay.
But there wasn't many blue belts,
Right. Okay, that makes sense. Right.
So there wasn't many blue belts, and I was coaching. I was coaching guys, and do you know what? They were winning fights. To be honest,
well, it's obviously working.
I was coaching guys, and they were winning fights, but not every fight, but which is a standard I'm like now, but I'm trying to get to now. But it's they were still winning more fights than they were losing, and but the biggest thing was it was actually just a lot of responsibility trying to coach my wee brother, and when I was being like truthful with myself, I was saying, you know what, there are. For me, like martial arts coaching is all about it's there should be like a credibility thing, right? So I don't like doing a job if I think people are doing jobs substantially better than me. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't offer to do a job if I thought somebody else was the right person for the job. So I'm like, do you know what? I honestly think there's better people out here for my wee brother, and I said James Doolan would be the absolute best person for him. He would be able to get him to where he wanted to be. And I thought to myself, right, this is a decision. I was like, James had already offered me to come through. I think at the time I was actually scheduled to fight one of his a fighter he trained with, which is Barry McHugh, which I didn't realise he actually trained Barry at the time. But I had accepted the fight with Barry. But anyway, Barry ended up getting injured. The fight got cancelled, and I said, you know what, that's fine. I'm going to go through there. So yeah, I started travelling through, and I said at the time I had about maybe 10, 15 students or something like that. They'd had some fights and stuff, and but they weren't consistent. You know what I mean? So there was some people that were every day, and they didn't miss a session, and I had to give those guys the option of finding a way to take them through a higher level with me, because I wouldn't have done it if I was just leaving people in the lurch. But there was a lot of people that were just training here and there, and that's fine. But I'd invested a lot of time in these guys, and I wanted to make sure that they continued their journey. And I seen a lot of talent in them as well. Jordan Struthers was super talented. He had a great determination, great movement. So I just wanted to make sure that whatever happened, he'd keep training. And Coonley had grew so much since I first met him when he was 14 that I just wanted to make sure that that he would have some a good place to train as well, and that and that he could make the most of himself. So my brother, we were the first 4 actually that started going through, and it wasn't until we started going through. I mean, right after I joined higher level, I won a 4-man tournament. Like a month after it, I won a 4-man tournament where I ended up fighting 2 guys in the one night. It was I beat an undefeated Polish fighter in the first fight, and then a guy called Stevie Loy, who's a decent fighter in the final as well. He was actually one of the coaches at Headhunters at the time. But it was for the Headhunters title. It was a fun time. So that was pretty much when I went there, and then we started kind of saying to Callum, like, this is really, really good, man. The training's awesome. Do you know what I mean? The coaching's awesome. we had said to him, and he was like, right, do you know what? Let's do it. So, you know, he came over with us and started jumping the car. Says we've got one space in the car that's running it quick. You know what I mean? And he's trying to get him. Do you know what? And all it is the same. Just wanting him to make the best of himself, because when you've got somebody that's got talent, like I would sooner let somebody go in a different direction for them to be successful than try and keep them, and knowing that, you know, it's just people not being self-aware. A lot of coaches get like that. I've seen it so much over the years, but it's just not being self-aware. Like if somebody's got a different goal, if somebody's goal is the things that I can teach and get them there, I'm always going to want to help them. But if somebody's goal is
we see that you see in boxing all the time, where you'd see you'd be at a gym. Not to mention any gyms, but you'd be in a gym and they wouldn't if they had like a wee guy and there was no sparring for him whatsoever, and he'd be like, well, this other gym's got loads of sparring for me, I'm going to go there and box. And they'd be like, nah, we're not giving you your card back, and just be as awkward.
A lot of that in boxing, aye.
What the fuck? What's the point in that, man? But one of the things that I took for that, as you start getting older, you're like, well, if I ever start coaching, I want to make sure that
I never do that.
I never do these things, man, because all you're doing is ruining it. If you actually like the sport, you should say, listen, son, there isn't any sparring here for you. You'd be better going there because they've got loads of good wee guys. You should go spar with them. I never understood the point in that, man.
I get some kids come to my club that I've boxed, you know, and they've boxed a lot from the Alaba Boxing Club, and you know, one thing I'll never say is I've got a really good relationship with that club because I respect the coach so much. You know, I've known him for years. John White, his name is. John White. He's a really good boxing coach. He was a really good fighter, really technical fighter.
I remember Gibby. I remember Gibby well. And
he was trained by Gibby. He was one of Gibby's best boys. So.
Stevie Barnard was coaching there for a while. That's a guy that I had boxed, but I think he was like the junior coach, and John must have been the senior coach when Gibby passed.
So John took over the club after Gibby passed, and he's really done great things with it. Some of the honestly, every single boxer that ever for his gym that ever comes into my classes, I'm like, fucking hell, he can box, man. You know what I mean? So he's doing something right with them all, because every single one of them look really, really good boxers. And what I try and say to these kids is, you know, I've had a few of them come in. Some of them are super talented. I've got one in particular, to be honest, and like even the new, I know that if he was to stick at it, he could be like crazy level champion because the way that he learns, And it's just when people are at that age though, where it's like, you're about to hit 17, 18, 19. If you go off on the drink, you're going to
you're not coming back.
Opportunity. Like you see guys like that where they could really be like the potential is unlimited, and it's like we spoke about earlier. Sometimes guys just waste it and they're like, nah, fuck it, I'm just going to make an ass of myself.
One of the things that I've often wondered with a lot of these guys is I wonder how much it is like self-sabotaging. So you got a young lad and he like, especially if somebody's saying to them, you could do something here, son. I wonder how much it's self-sabotaging because they just didn't want to have the pressure on them. Do you know what I mean? They didn't want to have pressure on their shoulders, like expectation that they kind of just disappear and I'll miss this training session. That they just kind of a wee bit nervous about the pressure. They can't deal with pressure at all. I wonder how much of that is. Interesting.
Aye, it's hard. Fight psychology is massive. Like, I love fight psychology. It's fucking so
interesting. We had the big guy, the bare knuckle guy that we had on. What the fuck's going on in the thing?
I think I'm doing it 10%. I think that's all.
That was it. Sorry, the big bare knuckle guy that we had on, Gumpy Walker, he was saying before he had lost a fight, he had lost his British bare knuckle heavyweight title, and he had a rematch, and he went and got a sports psychologist. And it's something that I just thought, like, and he was saying, honestly, man, he was so good. Like, he was so good.
I mean, I guess people pay money for them for a reason. Do you know what I mean?
He said he was really good. Like,
I'm just a bit dumb and stubborn with stuff like that. Honestly, and that's it's one of my biggest letdowns. I think as a person is that, like, I'm just really stubborn with trying to work things out for myself. I like to work things out for myself. I always have. I've done it with everything most of my life. I like to work things out for myself. I like to learn from my own mistakes. Like, I've nearly made every mistake you can possibly think of, really, and to an extreme. You know, everything I get into. And if it's a bad thing, it's going to end up really bad. And if it's a good thing, it might end up pretty good. It's just I'm an extreme person. But I think your original question was about guys that I think could go all the way.
That was that fucking. There's been that many questions, man. I'm fucking lost. I don't know what's going on.
I've got a bunch of guys that I'm super happy with, and that I'm going to try and get them as far as they want to go. A lot of these guys are excellent, and I've got some guys that are undefeated. I've got some guys that everybody that fights for me, I don't like to have a hierarchy. Everybody that fights for me, I'm going to try and put the same time into them. So I've got guys, and it's important that even if somebody was to lose a fight, that doesn't mean anything either. Do you know what I mean? It's like if all I look for with my students is that they're trying, and that's all I can ever ask anybody is that they try. If somebody tries, that they will eventually get there. Like I lost my first 2 fights. Do you know what I mean? I lost my first 2 fights, and I was trying really fucking hard, but I kept trying, and then eventually I got all right at it. And it's the same as anything. If you just keep trying at it, you'll get better. And it's just not having that ego to say, oh no, everybody, fuck what people think. People, the people that are laughing are usually people that aren't doing fuck all with themselves. So.
It's funny. It's funny because I'm pretty sure that just exactly what you said there. I'm pretty sure that the people there listening to us, like, why are they 2 idiots doing a podcast? Like, because it's something to do, and fuck it, why not?
Listen, if you enjoy it and you're passionate about it, you should pursue it always.
Nah, we're just with this, we're just fucking about the new because it's lockdown and there's not much else to do. But we're having fun doing it. But it's funny because like even when I made that when I made that pink rash guard for our morning class, the Dawn Brigade one came with the shark and that on it, the pink one with the shark on it. Like, I know that people had told me like, such and such was bitching about your rash guard because it's stupid. And I'm like, it's fucking pink and it's pink and it's got a big shark in it. It's meant to be fucking stupid. But people were bitching about it, and you're like, what the fuck's it got to do with you, man? Fucking
exactly. You're having fun. People are getting angry at folk having fun. You can't get angry at somebody that's having fun if it's not hurting anybody. You know what I mean?
Exactly, man. Just so good fun. So, but one of the things I was going to say is, have you ever got any big guys and you're struggling for stand-up sparring, man? Give me a shout.
You can help it.
Gum shield's always in the bag.
That'd be good, man. That'd be good, honestly. I love.
You got any big guys?
Honestly, any opportunities like that are massive growth for everybody. And that's the best thing you can do as a martial artist is just putting yourself in the deep end. You've got to seek out the people that have got the more experience than you, because if you can't find those people, then you can't grow and get better. You know what I mean? People put sometimes on this wee hut where they're like, right, okay, I'm the best. You know what I mean? I'm the best Thai boxer in this room, so like I'm just going to stick to that. You know what I mean? The very first thing I done when I started winning rounds and striking is said, fuck this, I'm going to make sure that I'm doing more striking. You know what I mean? I want to go and find the guys that do beat me up. So I started travelling through to East Kilbride to John Craig's fucking A-class where you're sparring all pro fighters, 17 threes, elbow pads. It was good fun.
It's just it's one of the things that I've always done, like especially when we're boxing, even the jiu-jitsu, to be fair, it's really hard to get big guys to spar. Like, it's never ended there. So whenever I speak to anybody that's coaching and they've got guys who are doing MMA, like anybody that's still boxing, I always say, like, if you're struggling for sparring and you need somebody to do some stand-up sparring, man, give me a shout. I'll always spar with anybody, like, always willing to help.
That's quality.
well, they fucking have a go again.
Are you thinking about doing MMA?
Nah, man. I'm pretty sure we talked about this before we did the mockcast with Dan. I feel I'm probably too old to learn Thai. You know what I mean?
What age are you now?
35. The 36 this year.
So what I would say is your goals have got to be realistic to your current situation, but it's not like you're going to say to yourself, right, I'm going to try and make the UFC. It's not.
No.
Do you know what I mean? It's not. But you could. But what's fun? Having a fight. You know what I mean? You've already got good boxing skills. You've got good jiu-jitsu skills. Why would you not just have a fight and see it in real life? Do you know what I mean? You've got the skills to do it. You'd definitely beat a bunch of guys out there. Like 8 weeks training, you're going to take somebody out, and you have the experience of your life. It's the most fun.
Yeah, maybe.
Then look at too far-fetched as if to say,
right, I'm going to get my running shoes on and out.
I'm telling you, man, you can do it.
I don't know. One thing that
that's why I like the coach, because I see the best in people. I see potential in people.
Because like I do a lot of different things. So I was meant to be doing an Ironman in June. I was meant to do an Ironman and marathons and swimming things and that throughout the year.
That's what stuff most people hate. You know what I mean? That's what stuff most people are too lazy to do. So if you're doing that and you're doing loads of boxing and you're doing loads of jiu-jitsu, it's time to whip somebody's ass.
So what? Well, this is the thing. This is what I'm going to say. Because everything's cancelled now, there's nothing happening this year.
Yeah.
It means that when we're allowed to train, I'm just going to put everything into jiu-jitsu because, and then I've got a bag set up in my wee gym garage, so I've been hitting the bag quite a lot as well. So
you're doing pretty good in jiu-jitsu as it is, man. You were getting some big wins when you were travelling. Was it Amsterdam you were?
We were in Amsterdam, Nagas, silver.
That as well, eh? There you go.
Heavyweight first competition. It was quite funny because the guy that beat me, I've sent Ali's Instagram page. A fucking big German laddie, and he's a very, very good wrestler. He was taking folk for a ride. If I had John with me or anybody, and if you were there, you would have said, "Do you want to corner me?" He was a wrestler, and I went. One of the things that's funny with boxing, Ty would be the same. It's a bit of an introduction. With jiu-jitsu, it's just like fire to go. And I went, oh shit. He's a wrestler. So in my head, I was thinking about all these scenarios, and before I knew it, the referee went, go. And I went, oh shit, just wrestle him. I was just trying to wrestle him, and he just took me down. And I had somebody there, I might have beat him, but he was afterwards, he was saying to me, his coach, I would have to find his name, but his coach is like the number 3 ranked welterweight in Germany. That's a very good MMA fighter.
That's why
blonde guy with a blonde beard.
That's why competing is so fun.
They were saying to me, oh, it's great win, great, because I had heel hooked the folk before me, so they were cheering like they had won something massive, and they're saying, it's only second competition. I went, it's only my first, and they kind of went, what? I was just my first competition, man. He was like, all right, but they thought they'd done something spectacular. I went, no, this is my first competition, and I should have been. That was adult. I should have been in Masters, so I was delighted with that. I was delighted with that, man. Let us say to you,
that's why competition's so fun.
It's fucking really good fun, man.
You get to experience all these different matches and that. But imagine that times 10. That's MMA.
I know. I've got.
It's super fun.
You're selling them on it. You're selling it on a mock. I can see it in his eyes.
I'm telling you.
That's it.
Different. It's the most primal feeling you'll ever get. It's honest and primal.
Aye, we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens.
What a buzz it is. I've been missing it like mad lately. I can't wait to get I need to get back to it.
One of the things that's funny is my nose is fucked. See, for swimming and stuff like that and cycling and sprinting. Oh man, my nose is so bad and I've never had it fixed. And the only reason I've not had it fixed is I'm not getting it fixed until I definitely want to fight again. So the reason it's no fixed is because there's like a wee sliver, like I might just have a fight just for the crack. But once I'm done, I'll have to get this fixed. Like I can't breathe today.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens, man. You're probably going to have to watch your battery now, eh? You're going to be way down on your battery.
I think it is, man. I think it's starting to get down to like low percentage what I'm at.
Well, I'll let you go now, man.
You know what? We've done nearly an hour 20. I think we've had a decent chat. Any last thoughts or anything you want to throw out to anyone more before we call it quits in here?
No, not so much, to be honest. Just honestly, I shout out to everybody that's ever taught me in martial arts. Like all my coaches, I've always had massive amount of respect for. All my training partners that have helped me get better. The guys that I train with day in, day out at the Submission Factory. That's something that's getting bigger.
Cool. I want one of those t-shirts.
You're going to start to see that. I want one of those t-shirts. Submission Factory. That's 100%. Because I've got big plans for that in my head. I've got big plans for that, for MMA and for no-gi grappling. Submission grappling actually. And I really like the no-gi grappling brand, but I think that's where the future is. To be honest, is
I agree 100%. When I go through to when you go through to SGI and you watch, you see when they've got like sub only in the gi, and you're like, it's just no meant for in the gi to me. But when you see guys going at it sub only and no gi, it's so much fun. It's so easy to watch. Where you watch jiu-jitsu,
much more entertaining.
Man, it's so exciting.
What I was going to say actually, because just before I go actually, because I never really explained with that stuff, but so I was saying before when I used to go out, I jumped in with Callum to go out to 10th Planet in California. I made several trips over the years. I always went and I've stayed for like months at a time with Jeremy, and trained with Sean for on and off for bits there as well, but mainly training with Jeremy, to be honest, and going to HQ every time, so getting to roll with a bunch of different guys out there. So end up making some I just look at it like friends, do you know what I mean? I'm not into this us or them shit. That's never been for me. I just look at everybody that can grapple as a friend. I'm not into affiliations or anything like that. I just like I like training with everybody. So I'm out there, and I was training with I was training with Jeremiah. I got a bit of training with Ben in before, so it was pretty. Aye, Jeremiah's an awesome guy as well, man. He's a good laugh. So just different characters. I love meeting different characters, getting to train with different guys, learning different styles. And just every time I've been out there, Jeremy's really looked after me. So we've got a close bond, and he's took the path of grading me in the 10th planet system as well. Over the years.
What 10th planet is he from? What 10th planet is he at?
So he owns 3 10th planets, and he owns 3 10th planets in the US, and he owns 2 in one in Ireland and Amsterdam. He's the head coach of those ones as well. He's actually he's part of Tony Ferguson's training camp and stuff for this last one. But more than anything, he's just, do you know what? None of that stuff really bothers me, to be honest. But he's just a really cool guy. I consider him a good friend.
Do you know with the 2 10th planet guys we've had on here already, Fletch Kirwan and Brendan McGrath, super cool guys.
Aye.
Brandon was really cool.
Much, but that's the thing. If you're ever, it's like that Celtic Rangers pish as well. When people start assuming stuff about somebody because of the football team they support, that's the same about. It's exactly the same if you start assuming something about somebody that's a certain affiliation. I mean, one thing I suppose you probably can assume is that most 10th planet guys are going to smoke about weed, but that's. There's nothing wrong with that, and at the end of the day, you can't assume stuff about people. You've just got to judge everybody for who they are, and unless somebody wrongs you, or your team or your family, then it's different. So,
I think that's a great note to end on. Be nice and don't judge anybody. That's
exactly, and it's important for this time as well, because everybody's judging everybody for their choices. You've just got to do what you think's right. You know what I mean?
Definitely, man. Well, thank you very much for your time, man. That was cool.
That was awesome. Good catching up with you guys. Definitely.
We'll catch up at some point once the mat's all open back up.
For sure.
Definitely through for submission Sunday and that. And like I say, if you need any sparring, man, just give me a shout.
Definitely, man. That's awesome. Take care.
We'll see you soon, man.
Speak to you,
guys. Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Cheers.